and welcome to Sound of Drop, Fall into Poison. So if my voice lowers a little bit when it comes to its projection, it's because I've kind of been binge recording a little bit too much, but like I don't really want to stop at the same time because I'm very interested in every single Let's Play I'm doing right now, because at the current moment I'm doing like 3 at the same time, because as of recording this I'm trying to finish up An Octave Higher. I'm trying to start, well, I already started it, but I'm trying to like get through another visual novel, which might take me a while depending on how long it is, but it seems very detailed and it throws me off quite a bit. And then there's this one that I'm doing, and then there's the other one that I plan to do as well, but I haven't started that one yet, because if I start too many things at once, I'm not gonna get any of them done. So yeah, I'm trying to do so many different things, and it's just, my voice can't really keep up, and it doesn't help that I'm still kind of sick at the same time. Though it's more like my sinuses are just not wanting to cooperate. The rest of me's fine other than stamina, but like it's just my sinuses at this point, but it's whatever. It'll all get sorted out, and I will probably finish all of these Let's Plays at some point and then move on to something else entirely. Who knows? It all depends on what life brings, I guess. But yeah, let's jump on in. I pass in front of the souvenir shop, then end up standing in front of the door to the jellyfish booth. I wonder if the girl is already gone. If she ended up in a safe place, she's probably already passed through it. If nothing happens, it takes less than a minute to pass through the jellyfish booth. If by any chance she's still there, we'll surely just meet in passing. The girl is determined to take a different path than I. I wonder what will happen to me. I may return to a point before the tank glass ruptured, or I may end up in the jellyfish booth sometime after the tank glass ruptured. I'll never know if I don't try going in. I become cautious. Slowly I open the door. Huh? At that moment, the air becomes shaky. Oh great, that doesn't look good at all. That looks even more ominous than it was. Okay. What is this? It's different. The field of view before me becomes red, and the air becomes so cold it could freeze. This is no longer a matter of dimensions, of wondering what time period this is. Something is different. This jellyfish booth is distinctly in a different place from the aquarium. All the water in the tanks, it's red. In the jellyfish booth, I know the transparent jellyfish are illuminated by various colors of lighting. The reds and purples are usually a pretty sight, but this place is different. All of the pillar-shaped tanks are bright red. It's a repulsive sight, as if all the water has been replaced with blood. I have to go. A bit confused, I take a step forward. Despite the fact that the floor at my feet should be solid, I stagger. My sense of equilibrium is off. I proceed 1, then 2 steps. At that point, I start to feel like I might fall. Even so, I head further inside. If I can pass through another door, I should be able to escape this bizarre phenomena. No matter what, I have to hurry. Ah! Suddenly I stumble and place my hand on a pillar tank. Uh-oh. The temperature of the tank is slightly warmer than that of the cold air. Oh no. Huh? Just as I'm able to move forward using the tank to support myself, I peer into the red water. Probably a big mistake to do that. Where there should be jellyfish floating about, there's something completely different. Oh no. Ah! Fuck! Jesus Christ! Holy shit! Oh my god! Okay! Okay! That's something I didn't really intend to see. Oh god! Okay! Eyes covered, kind of. Covering the screen except for the text. Because I don't want to see that. Okay. No! I'm unable to stop the scream that bursts from my mouth. An unbelievable sight stops me in my tracks. A face! A face! Ah! Human faces float about. Whatever is below the neck appears as if it's been assimilated into the blood, blending in with the contents of the tank. It isn't just one of them. Just as with the previous jellyfish booth, there are more and more and more. I wobble and break away from the tank, landing on my backside. I don't know whose face it is. It's not as if it would be someone I know, but no matter which face it is, they all seem to be staring at me here in the heart of the jellyfish booth. Taking a step back, I see that all of the tanks have human faces floating inside them. They have some differences, such as some faces being blank, some have their eyes bulging open, and some have bloodshot eyes, but they all are looking at me. What is this? That face over there's nose is twitching, this face's lips are trembling, and way over there, that one has a crease in its brow. But my heart beats faster. But-um. In rhythm with my heartbeat, I experience a hallucination that the faces in the tanks are drawing closer. No, this is... What? Oh god, no. Oh, no. This is getting fucking creepy. No, it isn't a hallucination. I am certain that all of these faces are getting closer to me. The fact that they're getting larger serves as proof. The boundary between the tanks and the air is gradually being removed. This room is becoming all water. The faces are swimming in that water, drawing closer to me. As the faces draw closer, the sound within the water grows louder. Rather than someone's laughing voice, it is the sound of someone sobbing that grows louder instead. Either way, it is the same to me, wearing away at my mental state. Stop it! A voice unfamiliar to me is sneering at me. Little by little, these unfamiliar voices are closing in on me. Before I realize it, my feet can no longer confirm whether the floor is there or not. Okay, we're at a picture that's a little easier for me to deal with. Oh boy. Okay! It's a fucking game. Alright. I have to go! So I put all my strength into my knees. I've already learned that time is of the essence. I have to take some sort of action. Should I use force? Should I steady myself to move easier? If distance is the issue, then the way I came is just a bit closer. Oh, fuck. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what that does. My resolution can no longer be shaken. Even if I go back, I don't know if it will be safe. In that case, I'll have to choose the way with even a small chance. Unable to tell whether I'm floating or standing, I frantically move my arms and legs. The faces are closing in, but even as I look up, I'm not afraid. Persuading myself, I move forward a bit. Even if there's no feeling left in my legs, I get the feeling that I actually am drawing closer to the door. Just a little more. Oh god, no. Suddenly, a loud sound interrupts my movements. That sound is familiar to me. It's a sound I've heard in this jellyfish booth before. The sound of the glass breaking resonates from behind me. Still, I won't give up! I refuse to turn around. If I were to see something bad right now, this time my heart may really break. In that case, it may be better for me not to know. On the heels of that thought, various voices, all laughing and crying, begin to resonate behind me. They are probably the voices of those faces floating in the blood. The voices steadily draw near, finally closing in on me. Fish with human faces! They say that fish with human faces swim about. It reminds me of an urban legend Himeno once talked about. However, I don't have the time to be in shock over a rumor being true. I won't falter! Human faces and shards of glass are passing by the edge of my field of vision. Occasionally they touch my cheek or forehead, but I move forward. I drift as I move along, grabbing the door with a clack. I encourage myself out loud so I don't lose focus. I have no idea what lies ahead. Gah! Almost at the same time as I pull on the door, I begin to feel heavy pressure against my back. It's heavy. Why? I can guess what has happened. Surely the fish are stopping me from moving on. This feeling of having my clothes pulled on is proof of that. I never thought fish could be this strong. I'm going, so... I bite down on my lip and try to move forward. The harder I try to move forward, the stronger the fish's resistance becomes. Himno is suffering even more. I shut my eyes and grind my back molars, then hurl myself at the door. The door flies open and I fall to the ground. Even so, I mustered up my strength and shut the door. There's no longer any pressure against my back. Oh boy. Can we not have anything else like that pop up now? That'd be great. Oh boy. Huh? Oh shit. Go back! Log! What did it say? Beyond the door is not the Fish of the World booth. It's dark and narrow, similar to the staff passageway I passed through before. Turning about and looking around, I realized that this is a passageway after all. So the jellyfish booth had at least 3 doors. The one I initially came in through, the one that leads to the entrance, and this door that connects to the staff-only passage. A closer inspection shows me that the wall is made of one-way glass. It's been created using something stronger than acrylic fiber. There's a water in the space between, serving as a border between the booth and the other side. Like a magic mirror, it's been made so that customers cannot see the staff members moving about. Well, it looks okay in here, for now, other than those red, ominous lights. From here, I can see the Fish of the World booth. Somehow, this place feels safer when compared to the jellyfish booth. It's very different from the first time I visited, with the offensive smell being completely gone. Inside, I can see familiar silhouettes. That's 2 females. One is an adult, the other is a girl. The visibility is a bit dicey, making it hard to tell, but that looks like the girl from earlier, and Saganuma Reiko-san, the female aquarium employee, the heartless one, who said Himeno couldn't be saved. The 2 of them are in front of the tank I'm looking at. The fact that they haven't realized I'm there must mean this really is something of a one-way mirror. Both of them are facing each other, their expressions grim. The sound is cut off by all the layers, but I can tell they're arguing over something. Ah! At that moment, the girl raises her right hand to Saganuma-san and follows through with all of her might. She slaps her with such vigor that it surely resonates with a loud, dry, smacking sound. Saganuma-san rubs her left cheek and grins widely. Seeing Saganuma-san grin with such a composure after being struck gives me chills. The girl only deepens the crease in her brow. At this rate, things will only intensify. I realize that I will have to stop them. Stop her, observe the situation. Well... I know it quick saves, but, like, sometimes, like, with Kenji, the quick saves weren't really doing me justice, so it was good to reload. So... I save now, just as much as I rely on the quick saves. So, we can stop her, or we can observe the situation. Honestly, I'm really tempted to observe the situation, but the other part of me is like, you know what, stopping her is probably a better idea. So... And I feel like, oh, and something else I've noticed is that, like, with the red choices, obviously it's like with the bad endings where you have to choose something that doesn't get you a bad ending but gets you through the situation. But with these, it seems like it leads you to one of the true endings because, like, the colors indicate that, kind of, if that makes sense. So, like, depending on what you choose takes you to a different ending. So... I think I'll stop her. I attempt to leave my safe place, but I cannot find a break in the wall. There should be a door somewhere. Even as I think this, I cannot find a doorknob in the darkness. As I keep my eyes on both of them, I decide to search the area connected to the Fish of the World booth. Their quarrel continues, the girl using hand gestures to get Saganuma-san's attention. In contrast, she merely looks down on the girl. From my perspective as an outsider, it doesn't look like she's even paying attention. What could have happened? What in the world could have happened to bring them to such a climax? Though I have many questions, it's unlikely that I'll get any answers. A sad expression appears on the girl's face for a moment, then she looks away from Saganuma-san. At almost the same time, the composure leaves Saganuma-san's face. She creases her brow and opens her eyes wide, her nose twitching. Oh, that's an ugly expression. Something has touched a nerve, getting her attention. Even without sound, that much is clear to me. Huh? Wait! Without thinking about it, I pound on the wall. However, this doesn't cause so much as a ripple, leaving me cut off from the 2 of them. This time, Saganuma-san hits the girl. Then she immediately grabs the nape of the girl's neck and throws her into the wall of the tank. There's no sign of the impact. Oh my god. Holy shit. No! Having hit the back of her head on the tank, the girl falters and Saganuma-san flips her body over, grabbing the back of her collar. The girl's face is turned in my direction and I realize that she has fainted. She's unconscious! A horrible premonition runs through me. With the girl's chest pressed against the wall of the tank, Saganuma-san grabs the back of her head and smashes it against the tank wall over and over again. Oh my god, she's gonna kill her. I can't see Saganuma's face, as it is bathed in light from behind and has become a silhouette. The only thing I can see is her lips, which dangle in the shape of an anchor. No! At this rate, she'll die! Without thinking, I scream. I have to help her! I can't stay quiet any longer. At any rate, I pound on the wall before me. Come on, please, let it get through! However, no matter how many times I strike it, Saganuma-san does not look this way, as if the sound isn't going through. Since the sound from the other side isn't coming through, then the sound from my side shouldn't go through either. It figures. I have no choice but to get out there. I grope about, trying to find a crack on either side of the wall. From top to bottom, right to left, I go along the outer side of the tank and look to see if there's a way to get in from below. A handle of some sort would be great, or anything that could serve as a starting point. There's nothing. Nothing! I still can't find any way whatsoever to get to the other side. Panicking over what I should do, I frantically search for the door. During that moment, the girl continues to have her forehead bashed against the tank right in front of my eyes. A gash is torn wide across her forehead, her blood clinging to the tank with each hit. The blood sticking to the tank makes a red line as if someone tried to wipe a brush across it. That one line of blood quickly becomes two, then the two merge into one large flow of blood. No! No! Her eyes are white and wide open, the blood from the girl's forehead making them seem bright red. From those eyes, I can sense no signs of life. Saganuma Reiko's lips are, of course, smiling. Stop this! Unable to stand anymore, I scream. However, it's pointless, merely echoing back through the passageway I'm in. Stop! No movement is left in the girl, save for the shaking of her eyeballs. Not just blood from her forehead, but as her entire body goes limp, fluids from all over leak out. Huh? As the life has faded from the girl, I see a small movement from her lips. I mimic that movement with my own mouth. The truth of the deep sea. As these words are unvoiced, I have no idea whether or not that's what she really said. However, to me, that's what it seemed like the girl was saying. Saganuma Reiko tosses the girl. She flops over as she hints the floor, having been reduced to a mere object. My mind goes blank and I sit down. I couldn't save her. She was right in front of me, at a distance short enough that I could have touched her by reaching out my hand, but I couldn't save her or do anything to help. Just in case, Saganuma Reiko kicks the girl over. Her heel strikes the hard floor, and that which was the girl's head flops over. Just like that, she leaves the Fish of the World booth behind. At that moment, I see bright red. Without a moment's pause, the girl's corpse loses all trace of life. It decomposes and goes beyond that to completely dried out. Some new phenomenon is starting, but I can't stand up as I am right now. I'm powerless. I can't do anything. Something hot wells up behind my eyes. No. Oh. I don't want this. I don't want Himeno to die like this. But the image of that girl's expression as she was on the verge of death is scorched into my mind. So hollow yet so desperate, her face burning up with rage. That face keeps appearing within my bright red vision. The deep sea, the truth. Just before the flame of life was extinguished, I think those were the words the girl left me. Then, what? I don't want to just sit here brooding like this. Big sister. Huh? That voice just now. Even though it feels easier just to break down and cry, hearing the voice of my little sister from somewhere brings me back. That was Mari's voice. Big sister, come this way. Mari, where are you? This way, over here. Where? I said this way, over here. It is Mari's voice. It really is, but from where? Before I realize it, I'm on my feet. Mari's voice echoes about the room like an announcement from a loudspeaker, but I can't find the source. I don't want to lose sight of this one strand of hope that has filled the hole left by my feelings of anxiety. Let's go. I cannot forget that girl's death. Stricken with grief and near the breaking point, I hold myself together. Thanks to Mari. Oh, jeez. This is... Recklessly coming out of the passageway, I end up right where the tunnel tank lets out. Big sister! Big sister, this way! Mari, is that you? I slowly turn in the direction the voice is coming from. Exiting the tunnel tank, I can see a wide wall before me. In front of it stands a girl wearing winter clothes. It's the same place I saw Mari the first time. Geez, big sister, did you get lost? Mari, I'm glad. Mari, are you really here? Really here? I'm right here! The same color hair as mine, the same color eyes. We were often mistaken for twins. With that silhouette of a doll, she's wearing that warm-looking overcoat. Mari is right here, looking just as she did that day. Mari, why are you here? Did you forget? Jeez, you meanie! We came to the aquarium together. There's no way I could forget. Not at all. It's just, why did you disappear? You're the one who got lost. I'm here. I've been here all along. Mari! Without hesitation, I embraced Mari. She must have caught a chill as her body is cold to the touch. Big sister, what's wrong? This is embarrassing. It's fine, Mari. We're finally together again. Jeez, big sister, you're such a crybaby. That's right, I'm crying. After Mari points it out, I realize my cheeks are covered with tears. Just as I'm about to stop, I cry again. Okay, let's go, big sister. Mari says this in a cheerful voice as she pats my head. It's a strange feeling having my little sister above my head, but not a bad one. I feel my head being enveloped in a soft feeling as if I'm floating. Go? Where? We'll go somewhere higher up. Together, you and I. Somewhere higher up? Higher, softer? That place is eternity. Eternity. Grinning ear to ear, Mari points her right index finger toward the ceiling. The feeling that I've begun floating upwards grows even stronger. Yeah, there's nothing yet everything there. It's really fun, very soft, and a place we can always be. A world of happiness. Happiness. I don't really understand what Mari is trying to say, but if it's happiness, that might be okay. The fact that I'm able to reunite with Mari like this makes me extremely happy. My thoughts melt together in happiness at being with Mari. I smell something sweet with a hint of lemon. If that's what the world will be like, we'll surely be happy. Let's go together, big sister. Mari. Don't get lost anymore. Okay. Mari reaches her hand out for me. I sit upright and reach for Mari's outstretched hand. I hear the sound of something falling down with a clatter. I don't know if I trust this. Especially since the red popped up. Drawn to the sound, I look down at my feet. The keychain with the droplet and the starfish, that precious memory for Mari and I, that unstable bridge connecting Himeno and I. This keychain has a sticker with a picture printed on it attached to its back, so it probably isn't Mari's, but it has the same shape. Sorry, Mari. I've been regretting not trading you the jellyfish keychain this whole time. I got hung up on something so petty, so... Nah, that whole thing, it doesn't matter. Huh? At Mari's words, I withdraw the hand I held out to her. Just now, Mari said, it doesn't matter, not, don't worry about it, or it's not important. She declared it nonchalantly with that smile she always wears. My heart resounds with a loud thump. At that moment, Himeno's words float through my mind. For argument's sake, even if this Mari girl is here, she would have grown in 5 years, and her clothes wouldn't be the same. It's summer, so she wouldn't be wearing a coat. Moreover... All of a sudden, that floating sensation disappears, and instead I feel the impact of falling to the ground. In reality, I'd been sitting, so my fall was more like tipping over. This isn't right. Oh god. This isn't right? Oh wait. This isn't right? What's wrong, big sister? Come on, let's go? No. Himeno's words vividly rush through my mind. Surely Himeno has saved me because now I can clearly see the form of that thing before me. You're not Mari. No matter what, Mari is never the type of girl to just say it doesn't matter. Not to mention that the keychain had been so important to us. I can't see her declaring that something like that doesn't matter. What are you saying, big sister? I'm Mari. I'm Mari. When Mari refuses to herself as I, she always drags it out. As I get up, I announce this to that thing before me. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. I'm, Oh! Oh, no. Oh, God. The girl's body begins to become blurry, like a staticky image. I realize I can no longer look directly at her. I knew it. You're not Mari after all! Muddy is probably a fitting term here. The thing that had been Mari up to a short time ago begins to melt, transfiguring itself from one clump into countless fish. The fish begins swimming in the air without water. This pattern of behavior is bad. If I get caught up in this bizarre phenomenon, then I'm sure to drown in this place with nothing. I have to get away. As I mumble this, I search for a door. If I can go through a door, I should be able to escape the phenomenon in front of me. Mari. Saying I wouldn't regret leaving them is a lie. But that thing, it isn't Mari. It's just an aggregation of fish. I can't be deceived by them and lose sight of my precious goal. I was so naive. Fine, even so, it's fine. It happens somehow. If I got time to get down to it, then I just need to not let it happen next time. I'll save her, no matter what. Finding a door as I run away, I throw it open with great force. I think that was something that happened a while ago. About a year ago, it was something that happened in the summer, during a break when I was looking over my notes for a quiz or something. Hey, you! Keep this in mind! What? A girl from my class suddenly came to my seat, kicking my desk as she yelled at me. She was unexpectedly strong, the notes and stationery on my desk scattering about. She was like a leader in our class, a part of the largest group. Having almost never spoken to her, I had no memory of ever making her mad. Unable to get mad, I was merely bewildered. Then Himeno showed up, and with her face downcast, picked up my stationery. Sorry, it's my fault. Your fault. A girl from that group invited me to round 1 this Sunday, but I turned her down. That was the day Himeno and I had made plans to go to the movies. Indeed, I was able to more or less understand what had happened. When she asked me why, I told her I already had plans with you. Of course I hesitated to tell her that, but she was persistent. But you could have gone. That girl's group was big. If there was an event or something, basically the whole class went along with them, but it wasn't strictly a good thing. Their group pride was as great as their group mentality. The girl that had come over a few minutes earlier was particularly striking. Like I'd go. You should know you take priority. But if you turn them down, they won't invite you anymore, will they? If their pride was really that high, then that's how it would be. I had heard that except for that girl as the leader and 2 others. People were regularly being brought in and thrown out of the group. It wasn't something I cared to hear about, but the bad things girls who had been kicked out said regularly found their way into my ears. Yeah, I won't be invited anymore, for sure. What? But that means... I saw it as a disadvantage for Himeno, who loved going to events. Like she could have had an advantage getting elected to executive committees for things like the culture festival or the sports festival, or getting votes for a program or something. It may sound like a discussion of politics, but ever since reaching junior high, things have had this kind of mysterious flow to them. Anyway, I was the one who turned her down. It's not some form of discrimination, I just didn't like them from the start. As she readily declared this, there wasn't a hint of doubt in Himeno's face. This kind of thing happened several more times until now. Cheerful and fun to be with, beautiful Himeno was also popular with our classmates. Since I was always with her, there were plenty of instances of jealousy. But from what I saw, Himeno didn't discriminate against anyone or try to butter them up, just like with the girl from that group. I often asked Himeno, why are you friends with me? Is that really something you need to ask? More importantly, it's not like I'm being your friend as some kind of favor. I'm your friend because it's fun. Okay? Every time I asked, Himeno laughed it off. I really loved the smile she gave me at those times. Once again, I've entered a passageway behind the tanks. I thought it would get me to the Fish of the World booth, but I was probably led astray while I was out of it. Anyway, I should get going. If another something borrows Mari's form and attacks me like earlier, I don't know if I can defend myself against it. Safe no longer means anything, so I should speed through the passageway. Upon looking at the map, I see that there appears to be a room at the end of the passage. Just as I expected, there are 3 doors before me. I have no choice but to take them one by one. The first being the reference room, the storeroom, the director's office. Well, the director's office sounds really interesting to me, so I will probably do that first. This is the director's office. I mumble while looking up at the words written on the sign above the door. This door's appearance differs greatly from the doors of the storeroom and the reference room, with red ornaments decorating it. Even if there had been no sign, I would have known this room belonged to someone important on first glance. The atmosphere from out here also seems to have a heavy air to it. It's as if I'm standing before the door of a school principal. If I don't go in and see, I really won't learn anything just staring in from out here. The obvious truth is that I already possess the courage to go through with this. Keeping an eye out for any phenomena while coming through the door, I push on the heavy door. The door makes a scuffing sound on the floor as I open it. Oh, it's really fancy in here. Please excuse my intrusion. It's not as if anyone would be in here, but without thinking, the words come out. An elegant desk and chairs are situated at the center of the director's office, and bookshelves run along the walls without a gap in between. The main wall, when looking from the entrance, is a giant tank made of translucent acrylic material. No one can argue that this room isn't also one of the aquarium's displays. The room is perfectly in order, giving me a sense of who the director is from, the way their desk is. More than just neurotic, they don't seem to have left even one speck of dust. There doesn't seem to be anything particularly strange, does there? Just as I mutter this, I notice a map on the top of the desk. In this neat and tidy room, only the top of the desk appears to be a work in progress. This is... After moving aside a book that seems to be in use as a weight, I find a map of the aquarium. This one is different from the one I picked up back at the stage. The design seems older, and the publication date is from 5 years ago. 5 years ago. It's not as if I can ignore that number. It's when everything started for Manton Aquarium, and for me. Inside the map, I discover one defining difference. The deep-sea fish booth. That place that was closed down 5 years ago is recorded on this map. Could this be... It seems that the deep-sea fish booth was just after coming out of the tunnel. However, it's strange. I've been to that area several times, but there's only a long wall. There's no trace of anything else. It seems that when it was closed down, they filled in the wall. It wasn't like that from the start. Questions arise within me as I consider this. If where I am now is 5 years in the past, then I should be able to get to the deep-sea fish booth. This line. As I repeatedly look over the map, I spot one red line. The line extends from the deep-sea fish booth all the way up to a circle at the top of the map where there's nothing else. The staff passageway connects to the deep-sea fish booth. My idea is seemingly confirmed, and nod without realizing it. The deep-sea fish booth is the only place in this aquarium I haven't seen yet. Surely Manton Aquarium's secrets will be there! Just a little further and I can finally reach it. This is... As I trace my finger along the map, I mentally position the booths in the aquarium on it. Come out of the tunnel tank and turn right, and the Fish of the World booth should be there. Go in a straight line immediately after turning left at the passageway behind that, then take another left and there's the director's office. In other words, if going straight through as this map says, this office is just past the tunnel tank. In between the tunnel tank and the director's office is situated the deep-sea fish booth. So then this room with the red circle is... here? The director's office is directly connected to the deep-sea fish booth. Since there's nothing written in the map's blank spaces save for the red circle, I think it's safe to say it's the room I'm in right now. I stop looking at the map and begin to glance around the room. There's nothing but bookshelves along the walls, even though there should be something leading to the deep-sea fish booth. The tank. Looking at the tank on the interior of the room, I mutter, surely there should be something within the tank. I can't swim through the tank and reach the deep-sea fish booth. I'll have to look around the room again more thoroughly. Just as I was about to look around the room, I spot a picture frame on the desk. It is of 2 people standing side by side, but it has probably been stretched from its original resolution, making it hard to hard to clearly distinguish the faces. However, they are familiar. As I'm exploring the desk, I discover something of a metal frame below it. About 50 centimeters all around, the parts and materials on the inside are different. On one side of it, I find a collapsible handle. This is... I put my hand on the thing that looks like a handle with the intent to pull it out. Stop! Huh? Without thinking, I look over my shoulder for the voice that seems to come from nowhere. That was just my imagination, right? Even if not just my imagination, it wouldn't be the first time here at Manton Aquarium. As if mocking me as I try to find an explanation for it, the voice continues even louder with, "Stop it!" I have to ignore it. If I want to get away from this voice, I have to keep going. I shut my eyes and pull harder. At the same time, the ground trembles with a clatter. I can hear the sound of the room creaking. I open my eyes and look at one of the legs on the desk. It's shaking. An earthquake! In a normal earthquake, I would just stay under the desk, but right now I choose not to. I poke my head out to check on the rest of the room. The bookshelves, everything on top of the desk, even the water in the tank is shaking. I prepare myself for the possibility of the tank rupturing, but it's a needless worry. I become aware of one strange fact. This shaking isn't a natural phenomenon, because the place where I'm standing isn't shaking at all. Leave! As the voice echoes, the shaking of the furniture grows stronger. Still, that's the only thing. Leave now! The frequency of the voice echoing from out of nowhere is steadily increasing as well. I can't leave yet. Leave! I don't know if my words are getting through. As if in agreement, the vibration of the furniture grows more violent as the mysterious voice's strength increases. I will leave. I am leaving, but I'll only leave with Himeno. Instinctively, I give voice to my determination. I have no choice but to move on. I sit down once again and reach for the handle under the desk. Ah! At that moment, my body is suddenly flipped backwards. It's not that I tumbled on my own, but it felt more like I was pulled back by an invisible hand. I won't give up. I won't give up. Leave! 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 No, I won't! Once more, my face is pushed close to the floor. My vision is concentrated on the small handle. My hand could easily reach it, but... Ah! My body is once again knocked back by this unknown force. It doesn't matter how many times It doesn't matter how many bad experiences I've had up to this point. Surely with just one more step I can reach this unknown territory. What if there's nothing there? No, there has to be. This force trying to stop me is proof of that. Even if there's nothing there, I will leave here together with Himeno. I'm no longer the me who knew nothing. Even if I have to drag Himeno behind me, I will find a safe way out and leave this place no matter what. So I absolutely must keep going. At that moment, there's a pulsation. It isn't my heartbeat, but the entire room pulsating with a loud thump. What? Is something else happening now? At that moment, the shaking of the furniture stops. In exchange, my own heart is pumping blood rapidly through my body with a ba-thump, ba-thump. All the lights in the room go out, and it becomes pitch black. I use my hands to feel for the handle on the floor, but I can't seem to find it. Uh-oh. This light... A phosphorescent red light begins to shine through the tank inside the director's office. The water inside the tank becomes illuminated with that red color, faintly lighting the whole room. The red light seems to be corroding the entire room little by little. Fish! How? Fish swimming in the air begin to penetrate the room. They seem to be riding the flow of the light from the tank, swimming inside of the red light. Fish swimming where there is no water. Probably a major misunderstanding I've had here in Manton Aquarium. This red light is water. The room quickly fills with light. If the room fills with water, I'll drown. Staying in this room in this state is dangerous. Well, here we go. I'm choosing to leave the room, personally. As I fumble about, my body slowly begins to float in the air. This place is already filled with wavering water. Trying to control my body, I reach for the door of the director's office. I have to get out at once. At this rate, I need to pull myself together in a safe place. My fingertip somehow touches the door. I grab the doorknob and I can't move it. The only way in and out won't budge. Ugh! I cough up the remaining oxygen in my lungs in shock when the door refuses to open. My body is nonchalantly overcome with the sensation of floating. Just like that, I lose consciousness. And I got another bad end. Or not? This is... No longer being of this world, I become aware of something strange. Then my soul is pulled into a large container. Deep red emotions. It isn't just me, but numerous souls dominated by malice. Now I no longer have my original form, instead becoming nothing more than one part of a whole molding into a colony. It's all over now. The me that was me is finished. Okay, well then. That was another bad ending. Amongst the gears, one. Okay. Staying, obviously, is the better option for some reason. Alright. Time to go back, I suppose. I say stick around. I can't give up. Courage springs up from within me. If I'm going to escape from this man's aquarium with Himeno, I have to overcome this obstacle. Going from midair to underwater, I have to overcome this nightmare trying to force me to drown to death. I've escaped so many times and been rescued from the brink of death. However, I won't lose anymore. The red light is eroding the room and numerous fish are swimming. When I saved that girl, I overcame a similar obstacle. By knowing something by chance about a creature's habitat, I was able to do something about the situation. However, I can't use the same method here. There are no machines, and there are too many varieties of fish for me to know about them. Moreover, I need to find a more basic solution. That girl, whose name I don't even know, she talked about a grudge. There were two cases, a murder investigation and a mass culling involving this malice. By a murder, could she have meant the director's accident about Mari? She totally was not talking about Mari, so it was definitely the director's accident. So, yeah. The director's accidental death was caused by the error in the deep-sea fish booth that also caused all those other deaths. Either way, what if it wasn't an accident? What if the whole thing was targeted at someone? I can see what caused the closing down of Mansion Aquarium, the bitter intent against the one who killed them. In other words, regret and a grudge. I bore great fear and anxiety towards Mansion Aquarium. But if my way of thinking is correct, then what I should be afraid of isn't the aquarium, but the deceased that have taken on its form. Maybe so. There are so many rumors, though. Seeing a man's ghost in the tanks, the deep-sea fish booth being open only to the day of a full moon, that all of the water changes into blood, or that you can hear crying from the back of the tanks. Himeno's words from that lunch break long ago all come back to me now. The director! You! As if agreeing with my conjecture, the red light grows more dense and it becomes hard for me to breathe. I don't have time. With just one more step, I should be able to overcome this phenomena. Oh, jeez. Okay. There's a lot of options here. Reach on top of the desk, reach out for the bookshelf, reach from my pocket, reach for the door. Well, the pocket has the locket, so let's try that, or the keychain, so let's try that. My own body has taken on buoyancy and is floating around. This entire room is now underwater. It doesn't just have water in it, but it is in water. As I try to control my wavering body, I search my pocket. My fingers feel something and I pull it out. It's the keychain with the starfish charm. A sticker photo is attached to the back. Director, if you can hear me, if you can hear me from somewhere, watch this! A bubble as big as my mouth leaps out. The red bubble rises up through the interval between the air and the water. I cover my nose and my mouth with my left hand and hoist the keychain up high. Ugh. My lungs are at their limits. The results of my defiance will be life or death. If my conviction is nothing more than a mistake, I die by suffocation. However... Uh-oh. This is the last bit of air in my lungs. The last bit of air in my lungs. This little red bubble climbing to the heavens, along with my memories. The inside of my head is becoming murky. There isn't enough oxygen. I'll die. In just a matter of seconds, I will drown to death. Okay. Stop this, father! In time with the girl's voice, I feel the pain of my body crashing onto the ground. Ah! With a thud, my butt begins to hurt. However, that pain is proof that the director's office has returned to normal. Without hesitation, I feel grateful for gravity. It's all right now, father. Sayo. Just like when I tried to open the floor, a voice echoes through the room. As I steady my breathing, I look around me and survey the room. As expected, I cannot find the source of the voice. I've heard this voice before. It is a voice I've heard many times in Mansion Aquarium. A hollow voice, one that projects well. This isn't a mistake. It's the voice of the girl, the one killed by Saganuma Reiko. I take another look at the picture on the keychain in my hand. By father, do you mean that this is... It sounds like she must be his daughter. In other words, that girl was the daughter of the director? Ah, I knew it! I knew it! I knew she was the daughter of the director. That's why she was there, and why she didn't want to leave. Why she had to figure out the mystery of Manton Aquarium. It's because she wanted to know what happened to her father, which she had fucking mentioned. She is. So then that's why I realize that she is the daughter of the director whose murder was made to look accidental, which is why she has so tenaciously pursued the secrets of Manton Aquarium. Oh. Along with surprise, I feel understanding. A blue light shines through the translucent tank. The ominous red light from earlier is no longer there. In the spaces between the blue light, I can see two silhouettes. Like images projected on a screen, they are a bit vague, but I can easily identify them. A middle-aged man and a girl. The two of them face each other in a pleasant manner. Seiyo, you've gotten so big. The silhouette that appears to be the director says in a kind voice. I decide to watch the pair's conversation quietly for a bit so as not to interrupt. You're making such a big deal out of it. More importantly, I found her, the criminal who killed you. Seiyo, you... Saganuma Reiko. I was killed by her as well, but after coming to Manton Aquarium so many times, I was finally able to confirm it on my own. So I'm more or less satisfied. Because of me, even you were... Seiyo, I... Don't say anymore. I have no regrets. If you keep going, all of my efforts will be in vain. I have lived and died solely for my objective. Seiyo says in a cool voice, talking about her objective even after her own death. What a tragic thing. Listening to Seiyo's words, the director's mouth becomes a straight line as he looks down, holding back his regrets. Your face has changed so much in the last few hours. Huh? Me? Seiyo shifts her gaze from the director to me. She turns her attention from the director and continues. The fact that you're not surprised to see a ghost really isn't normal, but I understand how you feel. Yeah, that's right. I suppose you could say I've gotten used to it. I wish I could have gotten to know your name. You never would tell me. It doesn't matter now, since I'm dead anyway. Even now, Seiyo talks like it's someone else's problem. The director at her side responds to the question about her name. Sakuragi Seiyo. That's the girl's full name. I am Sakuragi Isao, Seiyo's father, and the director of Manton Aquarium. So, you are the director after all. It would probably be more accurate to say former. But it seems I lost my sense of reason for a long time. I wonder why it's only now that I've regained my senses. Lost his sense of reason, he says, as if that's no longer the case. Nevertheless, his story seems so substantiate the theory that Manton Aquarium gives form to grudges. Having returned to his senses, no strange phenomena should take place. Excuse me. On the contrary, I could say that the earlier poltergeist phenomenon the director caused would also serve as proof, but I don't see any need to blame him. Wasn't it seeing Seiyo-chan that returned you to your senses? Hey, stop adding chan. I have a name too. I don't like it. Then it's Seiyo. I have a name too, Mayumi, so stop with the hey and you stuff. Ugh. Seiyo breathes an affected sigh, then continues talking. She looks listless, but somehow it seems like she's smiling. If your conjecture is right, Mayumi, then I'll probably be glad. Conjecture? That I returned my father to his senses. Fool! Is there anything to be happy about? If you hadn't died, you wouldn't have met me. My beloved daughter, dead because of me. Is there really anything to be happy about? Father, calm down. You make the aquarium get weird again. I misjudged you, Seiyo. I thought you were amazing because you were steadfast in your determination and your resolve, but I labeled you a cold girl. Really, you were kind. Tears faintly gather in the director's eyes. If demons can have tears in their eyes, then ghosts can cry. That's why they call it infectious crying, I suppose. Even as I watch the two of them, the corner of my eye becomes hot. The exchange between the two of them is so natural. It has the rhythm of a conversation between parent and child. It's something that won't happen again for them. I'm sorry. I couldn't save you. I saw you, Sayo, at the moment you got killed. I couldn't save you. Don't worry about it. This is the result of my own faltering. It isn't your fault, Mayumi. But, don't you have someone you need to save? If so, you can't waver. Sayo, you've matured. You've become able to encourage others. Be quiet, Father. Well, I'm glad you weren't killed by my father. You've grown up, Sayo. The air surrounding them warms my heart, but the realization that this is nothing more than a transient moment causes my chest to tighten. Huh? You too. Suddenly the blue light changes to white. It floods the room like a fluorescent bulb, gradually growing stronger. Without realizing it, I narrow my eyes. What's happened all of a sudden? Who knows? Maybe we're crossing over? I'm satisfied knowing who the killer is. Well, but wait, just a bit. Crossing over, no longer having any attachment to this world. Sayo has achieved her goal. She and the director have miraculously reunited after overcoming space and time. No! I cry out from the bottom of my heart. However, I can't give that scream voice, because Sayo knows my resolve. I don't want her to see me acting uncool, because even though Sayo is dead, she's cheering me on. Mayumi-kun, was it? Before I disappear, I will tell you what I know. Even so, many events right before and after my death are vague. This is much too soon. Will you really disappear? My soul was originally supposed to cross over 5 years ago. Being able to cross over in and of itself is something to be happy about. Director. I don't want to cause anyone trouble like Father did. I just want to go right away. Before our souls are taken. The two have completely reconciled their lives. Souls being taken, it's something I could only barely understand. If it happens just as it did before with the director, then only their grudge and malice will continue to be expressed in this world. When it's time to die, one crosses over. It's probably best to see it from the spirit's position. But then they can't be happy together. I stiffly endure those words. Unconcerned with my own thoughts, the director begins to speak. 5 years ago, Manton Aquarium experienced financial hardship. With diverse options for entertainment and a more direct subway system, customer traffic decreased as people were flocking to towns other than Manton. The management of the aquarium was seeking large costs from the purchase of exhibits, the large amounts of feed required, and the cost of paying for the employees. Also, due to the location of Manton Aquarium, the cost of transporting seawater is high. In addition, the deep-sea fish booth that served as a centerpiece at that time used the latest technology and required enormous maintenance costs due to its size. I was being pressed by many decisions, letting go of employees, reducing display space, the widening of the target demographic, and the closing of the deep-sea fish booth. I couldn't bring myself to cast aside anything from my beloved aquarium. I tried to do the impossible in the hopes of producing results, but in the end, it boiled down to a confrontation with Saganuma Reiko and those who stood with her. I was eliminated in the most rational way possible. In other words, I was killed. It was made to look like an on-the-job accident. The director continues, unperturbed by my trembling. I rise to my feet and reach out a hand to Sayo. She is also listening quietly to the director's matter-of-fact way of speaking. Her form seems so fragile. I'm unable to touch the image she is projecting into the light. Despite my position amongst management, I let her know, in not-so-subtle terms, how I felt about her. This gave her all the motive she needed. I have no doubt that my murder was, in some part, because I pushed her too far. Beside me, Sayo lowers her head. However, she listens carefully to the director's monologue. I study the director's face and wait for the rest of the story. Then Saganuma Reiko sent all of the fish in the deep-sea fish booth to their deaths. There were 1,217 of them in all. There were probably those employees who had their doubts in regards to the reoccurrence of unlikely accidents. Those that knew even the slightest bit about our management stuck their heads in the sand and just dismissed it as cost-cutting in some way. That's awful! By all rights, it's something Father should consider as a manager. Yes, at times such a thing becomes necessary. Saganuma Reiko held neither reverence nor regret towards the fish she, a human, killed. She probably smiled while killing them, forcing them to bear the brunt of her rage and grudge against me. My soul was already here. It's hard to put into words, but I'm what you might call a jibakure, a spirit bound to this place. Sympathizing with the souls of all those fish, I offered up my soul to Manton Aquarium. So then, the grudge you and the fish bore created the world I am in now? The director nods with a serious face. I instinctively swallow. The Red Mountain Aquarium. I've taken to calling it that. Without regard for when, they took vengeance to dispel their regrets. It didn't matter if it involved people or fish, they merely turned to anger. There was nothing I could do. As a human with an independent will and emotions, my soul was the cornerstone, but the fish were the ones to rule Mountain Aquarium. There was no distinction for the value of life. The thousands of fish spirits overpowered my own sense of reasoning. Then why now? I'm sorry, but I don't clearly understand it either. I may be ubiquitous throughout this Red Mountain Aquarium, but I am merely a core that bore its grudge, nothing more. There are far too many things I cannot explain. But if I were to venture a guess, I would think that my reunion with Seiyo has led my soul to stop producing negative emotions. Upon becoming useless, I was probably ejected from the Red Mountain Aquarium. Theories and such probably don't matter. Mayumi-kun, it's thanks to you bringing Seiyo and I together that this miracle occurred. I don't need any further explanation than that. The director smiles peacefully. He probably doesn't remember the details of what he put us through. If he did, he wouldn't be smiling. Still, it isn't like the director is directly responsible for his sins. Sins are born from a person's ill will. If I trust the director's words, then that isn't the case here. It isn't in me to bear hatred for someone with no form. A cornerstone. Having lost me, the one directing their malice, the fish spirits should also disappear. They should cross over. The director says in a relaxed tone after some thought. In other words, the Red Mountain Aquarium will disappear? If my theory is correct, that is what should happen. In turn, with my soul's disappearance, the Red Mountain Aquarium should begin to crumble. This isn't something I know for sure, merely a hunch, but it seems I am part of Mountain Aquarium after all. Please don't lament the fact that I will disappear. It was your courage that rescued us from this place, this Red Mountain Aquarium. I didn't save you. My words of denial won't come out. Surely the director is satisfied already, after having his soul bound for 5 years and squeezed for every drop of malice. Just releasing him was saving him, so I can't dilute that fact. Before we part ways, I'll return this to you. This keychain. Seiyo hands me a keychain. It is a droplet-shaped keychain, one with a jellyfish attached. It is unmistakably the keychain from my memories. Why, Seiyo? You were running without watching where you were going, and you ran into me. Don't you remember? When I was chasing Mari, I ran into someone. That's right! Himeno picked it up in all of the confusion. It was something incredibly precious to me. It never seemed like something someone would mistake. Even now, I still don't understand the mix-up. I finally realized that you had my keychain when I looked at it, and that the one I picked up was yours, Mayumi. Thank you. So it wasn't that Himeno lied. The mix-up was because there were 2 lookalikes. I hand the keychain with the starfish charm to Seiyo. The father and daughter smile at me from within the sticker picture. This piece of their lost past leaves my hands. As I hand it to her, I'm unable to touch her. However, the treasure safely lands in Seiyo's hand. Why didn't you tell me back then? Hope, probably. What do you mean? I won't say any more than that. I'm about to respond, but Seiyo speaks without giving me a chance. You know, I'm a bit jealous of that Himeno girl. Why? Think about it yourself. You're so mean. Seiyo grips the keychain tightly and shuts her eyes. She takes a small breath and nods. You walked a different path than I, Mayumi. Even now, I think so. Yeah. Mayumi, what you've done is resolve yourself to save the both of you. I don't want to think that I'm wrong. However, you weren't wrong either, Mayumi. The world is a place with few answers. Seiyo laughs with a then smiles. This seems out of character for her. But Seiyo's smile is very natural. Surely this is the girl's true nature. Nah, the cool Seiyo I spoke with first is the real deal. Just as Seiyo said, there's no perfect answer anywhere. Regardless of the director's choices, there were none that could have led to a perfect solution. Even so, we all must choose, even if it means casting aside that which we don't choose. I wasn't able to be like you. I was filled with a weakness I couldn't account for. Seiyo, you weren't weak at all. You saved me. Her eyes closed. Seiyo shakes her head. Mayumi, you have strength that I don't. You won't fall apart at the truth. You will save Himeno no matter what. Thank you. I'm sorry, in the end... Hey. Huh? Nah, nothing. I don't care for stubbornness after all. The light surrounding Seiyo grows far brighter than the light surrounding the director. Gradually, Seiyo's silhouette grows dim. I understand this is the light of Seiyo's life. Bye-bye. Yes, bye-bye. I won't say see you later or anything. If you find your way here after 100 years, I'll just turn you away. There's no way I could live that long. I'm unable to stop my emotions from overflowing. The drops of light spilling over melt into the even stronger light. It's the same for Sayo. She would probably get mad if I say so, so I won't, but... Well, Father, I'll go on ahead. This time you can follow me. Essentially, it's decided. Sayo is my friend now. So much as I continue to struggle, I won't break so easily. By the time I've wiped away my tears, Sayo's light has already vanished. The director closes his eyes and begins to pray. Seeing me stand up, he quietly opens his mouth. I don't know what exactly will happen when this place crumbles. Before it happens, I think it best that you get out of Madsen Aquarium. I want to ask you about Saganuma Reika-san. She's still alive in this aquarium, isn't she? The woman who killed not just the director, but his daughter, too. Her insane smile is etched into my mind and won't disappear. She shouldn't be living. I can't remember it clearly, but I do know this. Madsen Aquarium did exact its vengeance on her. If she's still here in the aquarium, then she's nothing other than a ghost. She's a captive soul, bound here by the grudge and malice that pervades this place. If so, when this place crumbles, she'll disappear as well. You needn't worry. I don't need to worry. Is that true? Those things left behind in time will not change. I understand. That and... Excuse me. Yes, what is it? You didn't see a girl called Mari somewhere, did you? She looks like Sayo when she was a child. Perhaps like you, she became a spirit and is in this Madsen Aquarium. I've asked the disappearing director something that has caught his attention. If he is one with Madsen Aquarium, then perhaps he does know something. However, that hope is quickly dashed. I do not know. Ever since my death, my mind has become rather vague and fragmented. Is that so? However, as it is vague, I cannot definitively say that she isn't here. In the deep-sea fish booth where I lost my life, there may be some truth even I do not know. Speaking of which, Director, when you were under the influence of the grudge, you told me to leave. Did you understand somewhere deep down the danger of the place where you were killed? I wonder. Honestly, I do not know. Well then, it seems the time has come. Director! I can no longer stay here. I realize it may be irresponsible. However, it seems this alone I cannot fight. In this world, there are powers that go beyond human understanding. But please, wait! If I wait too much longer, I won't be able to follow Sayo. When I reach the other side, I will pray for you, that you may be saved and blessed. I am unable to stop him as he is wrapped in a brilliant light just as Sayo was. In the next moment, his form is gone. Was he able to cross over? My question is directed at thin air, so naturally there is no reply. I wonder if this is a time when you should say congratulations. Thinking it over a bit, I look up. In that position, I close my eyes. Please, find peace. Before I realize it, I'm alone again. But it's alright. Even if something happens, I will not fail. I have prepared myself. Well then, I have to walk on. Okay, this could go bad. So while we are stuck at this decision, I will end it here. We have said goodbye to two precious people, and I don't know if I would have been able to change the outcome when it comes to Sayo's death. I don't think it's possible. But, well, I'm glad they found peace. So, at least there's that. But, now I'm alone and I have to try and figure out the rest of this mystery, as in Mari's mystery. Everything else is pretty much solved. So, yeah. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.